Hello, my honeys. This is Kamara with the Black Dove Oracle. How are you? If you're brand new to this channel, welcome. And if you are a subscriber, thank you so much for your support of this brand new channel. I've really appreciated all your comments and all your encouragement. And let's get into this new pick a card reading. This pick a card is going to be what people are realizing about you. It did say, what's the gossip on you? But I don't know. Maybe it's more of like, what are people realizing about you as they get to know you, as they observe you more? So we have 3 groups, and you can choose with the artwork that's at the beginning of this reading, or you can choose from one of these 3 groups here, which I will show you the cards up close. Or you may want to use the timestamps in the description box below, and that might help you come up with a choice. Either way, feel free to watch one or all of the readings. And if none of them resonate with you, please check out all of my other readings. There's something for everyone, I believe. So, group number 1, you have the Lover's card. Group number 1. Group number 2, you have the Empress. Group number 2, the Empress. And group number 3, you have the Hermit. So take a moment to reflect on what choice fits best for you. The timestamps will be below in the description box. And I would so appreciate if you, once you listen to the readings, if you like it, if you can give me a thumbs up, that would be so awesome. And if you really like the way that I read and want to stay connected, please consider subscribing to this channel. It's brand new, and I would love to start doing lives and things like that. So thanks again, and let's get to your readings. Hello, group number 1. This is your reading on what people are realizing about you. I'm Kamara with the Black Dove Oracle. So let's get started with your reading. You chose the Lovers. With my nails here. And I did a blind pick of some additional oracle cards. So let's see what they're all saying before I even reveal everything. We have unconditional love. Very fitting. We have stretch. We have take a break. Life is not a season. Get off the treadmill. Push that up a little bit. And lastly, we have Divine Feminine. Divine Feminine. I was like, is this person naked? But I think I can't really tell. Hopefully YouTube won't penalize me. I don't think that is anything going on that we need to censor. So that's kind of interesting that came up for me. And so I would say group number 1, I think that people are finally realizing about you that you will not play small. For some reason, that's what I'm hearing. You're not going to hold back. It's interesting that you got the Lover's card. I am going to do something that I don't do very often, which is take the card a little more literal. And for some of you, you may be involved with someone from a different culture. And I am seeing here that what people are realizing, maybe this is the first time you've tried a relationship with someone who is from a different background than you. And what is happening is that you're truly finding that there is a connection here, group number 1. In fact, there's much love in this relationship, or there will be, if it's coming towards you. But I think when I talk about what people are realizing about you, it seems like it's already in motion. Like they're realizing that you don't hold their same prejudices. They're realizing that you will expand your social circle to get the love that you need. That's what I'm hearing. And I'm also hearing that in this relationship, what people are realizing is that you are more in your divine feminine energy. And maybe for some of you, that has been an energy that you haven't been able to drop into lately. Maybe you hold a lot of responsibilities. Maybe your life has been really busy with work, with managing. I'm hearing some of you might be managing your own business or managing your education right now. There's big things that you're working on that are kind of putting you more in a masculine energy, just meaning that you are about the business of taking action. Whereas when you are in that divine feminine energy, regardless of your gender, you're allowing for things to come to you. You're more in a receptive kind of energy. And people are noticing, what they're realizing about you, group number one, is that you are totally different when you are in love. You are so soft, so willing, so open, so unconditional with your love. And people are finding that when you allow for yourself to stretch in relationships and maybe even take an unusual path or a different option for yourself, people are realizing that it's opening you up. It's allowing for you to expand in a personal way. So what people are realizing about you, group number one, too, is that some of them thought you were going to be single for a while. Maybe even forever. That's what I'm hearing. And there's a lot of talk about this relationship. It's different. It's different for you. And while you may, in some cases, feel like some people are passing judgment on this relationship, I actually feel that more people are surprised by it, but in a happy way, because they're happy for you, group number one. Let's see what else Spirit has to say about what people are realizing. This is the Death card. You know, what else people are realizing is that in many ways, you haven't changed. That's kind of interesting. You may have changed how and who you love, group number one, but you haven't changed at your core of who you are, what you expect, what your beliefs are. So even if you are partnered with someone who is from a different culture, it could be a different culture. It could even be that some of you are looking at different genders that you're dating, or different identities in some way. Maybe people always thought that you would stick around your hometown and get involved and partner with somebody there, and maybe you go somewhere and you form a long distance relationship. Whatever it is, group number one, people are shocked by your choices. And I think they're realizing that there's more to you than just the thought that you were going to stay single out of some kind of relationship. Now, this might be specific, but for some of you, someone thought you were just going to sit still after a breakup. Maybe this is a past partner. But what they're realizing now is that you're going to balance the scales with Justice card here with some action. You are going back out into life, and you are living your life. And I think that is what people are realizing here. With this Seven of Cups, they are suddenly aware of all the options you have when it comes to partnerships, when it comes to love, when it comes to collaborations even. If this isn't romantic, it could mean that some of you, a small group of you, went out and found a new business partner or someone to collaborate with. So people are shocked, and maybe they are finally realizing that regardless of anything that they've said or done, you are going to keep going. You are going to be in action. You are going to take action on your life always. You are going to be confident, and you are going to pick yourself back up and do what you needed to do with your life. And for many of you, wow, that's a lot of cards. I think I'm going to put them back and shuffle again. I think they realized that while maybe you were quiet for a while, maybe you were thinking about the next moves that you were going to make. And I think what you started to realize is that the world is available to you. I think when it first came out, it was upside down because there's this whole idea that maybe for a minute you thought your world was, I don't know, I don't want to say over, but there was something about your world, you felt stagnant. But Spirit is saying we could turn this upright, because I think you're coming out of this hanged one energy, and you're taking action to make sure that your life, your world is still working for you. Group number 1. So it's just very interesting here. I think that they didn't expect for you to change in some way, some people. They didn't expect for you to get off the hamster wheel of work and really dive into this relationship. That is also what I'm hearing from Spirit. That people are seeing how different you are in this relationship, how much time you're dedicating to this relationship, how very much in love you are in this relationship. And I think as I look at these two figures, there's something about how they embrace each other. There's a little bit of strength there, protection. And you're very protective of this new partner. And if people are going to make certain comments, you will bring justice forward real quickly, swiftly, because your love of this person, they're realizing, is unconditional. Maybe this person has some things to learn about your life and how you live your life. But I don't think that you even take those kind of, if it is a mistake that they make or some kind of differences of opinion, you don't take that as we are so different that it might not work out. I think group number 1, you are starting to understand that this relationship that you're in, it's worth the stretch. And so group number 1, what people are understanding is that you're putting real hard work into this relationship to cultivate a proper communication, maybe the understanding. And I think that they're finally realizing that for some of you, I'm hearing this phrase, and maybe you say it, I'm a grown-ass woman, or I'm a grown-ass man, or I'm just a grown-ass person, however you identify. And people are like, wow, group 1 not only went out and got themselves partnered and have like really deep love with this person, they're also backing up their decisions. And maybe for some of you, there was a lot of judgment at first, but you're making this work, and people are seeing just how in love both of you are. Let's see if there's any other messages from Spirit. Yeah, for some of you, this might be a difference in religion, even. And that might be a big step for you. I think what Spirit is saying here is that whatever the difference is, you stand by it. And it will continue, you will continue to be blessed. Yeah. It could even be someone from, I was going to say someone from your past, but I see the Six of Wands. There's a way in which there's a certain kind of victory that's happening from the past here. Maybe in the past, you may have foregone any kind of crushes or flirts that were from people that were different from you. But maybe now you're changing your mind, group number 1. You're expanding your horizons, and you feel good about this particular choice. I'm happy for you, group number 1. If you resonated with anything in this reading, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you like the way that I read, this is a short read, but I hope that we could stay connected. Please subscribe. Click that subscribe button, and then you also just press that bell and you'll get notified when I upload new readings. But if this is where we part, group number 1, good luck with this beautiful relationship. It feels very powerful, and there's something very like the energy of protection. I'm going to protect this thing as I grow it, as it cultivates this beautiful rose in our relationship. You're both kind of doing the work of that, and I think you're protective of it. That's what I'm kind of getting. Okay, group number 1, take care. Hello, group number 2. How are you? My name is Kamara, and this is the Black Dove Oracle. This is your reading on what people are realizing about you. Now, you may have chosen this group from the artwork in the beginning, or you may have chosen this Empress. So, what people are realizing about you, group number 2, is there's a lot of abundance in your life right now. Let's go to the Oracle cards, because I did choose some blindly. So I'm looking at them right as you're looking at them. We have Free Spirit. We have Bypass. We have Absence. And we have Soul Family. You know what people are realizing about you, group number 2, is first of all, you're going to do what you want to do. And that you most definitely are a free spirit. You know, because of YouTube rules, I had to draw a little bikini on this figure. But before that, this figure did not have a bikini. So you might even be someone who, you know, I'm from California, y'all. So, you know, we do a lot of nude stuff. So you might be one of those people that goes to the nude beach or the clothing optional places. You might even be a dancer or someone who does the art of stripping, and you might do erotic dance, and you're fine with being in your body, sharing your artistry through your body. So I don't know why that's coming up for me. For some of you that you might be into the arts, something to do with your body and movement and dance maybe. And maybe you do belly dance even. It doesn't all have to be nude, but maybe you do something that's very sensual, something that's considered a little, you know, on the edge for folks. What people are also realizing about you is while you are a very highly connected person, a person that truly connects with people at the spiritual level, you also do not bypass, you know, the real aspects of life. it's kind of signaling to me that some of you might be very spiritual versus religious, right? And in that spirituality, well, it's funny when I look at this card too, because there's something about you being in your spirituality now. Maybe some of you, and Spirit is saying yes, some of you may have been emerging from a religion that was really structured, really conservative. And now people are noticing that you are no longer a part of that practice, and you are more into your liberation, into your freedom. And people are seeing how that spirituality, and if you all hear my cat in the background, Lord, she wants to go outside, but she's not able to do that right now. So I'm sorry if her cries are disturbing, but she's okay. Yeah, it's kind of just like I am sensing here that maybe in your past group number 2, you were a little bit more conservative, maybe a little bit more buttoned up. But now there's something that happened that just released you from that life. I'm seeing it here, like a connection, even with a friend. Some of you, a small group of you, this might even be like you're trying a same-sex relationship for some of you. For others of you, you've just made some real deep connections with the people around you. You've connected with your soul family. And that soul family is why you can show up in your Empress energy, unapologetic, full of life and prosperity. And there's just this new life that people are realizing you have. I think they expected that you would, in your absence, you would be in a corner somewhere, sad or whatever. And that's not it at all. Your absence has allowed for you to sit with yourself, to understand who you are, to expand or evolve on your own sense of self. And that self is now liberated, I sense. That self, you want to live your life now. There's something about that. Like you're out here living your life. And no one can tell you what to do. 7 of Swords. Yeah, they can't take away your joy. They can't take away, the threats of you kind of being put on the outside. You're like, let me just put myself on the outside. Let me go and live my life with strength. So people are realizing about you that you don't need to follow the crowd. You don't need other people's validation. You are confident. And anything that comes towards you that disrupts your inner peace, you are going to take it by the mouth, right? Group number 2. You're going to take it by the mouth. And you are going to let people know that, no, this is my life now. This is how I choose to live it. I don't care if you see me, the sun. I don't care if you see me. I don't care if you see me dancing, or you see me, parts of my body unclothed. Like there's something so liberated about you, group number 2. And I think that you have had to learn how to balance all of this in your life. You've gone from one spectrum of being conservative to another spectrum of kind of just being in free flow. And I think Spirit is saying here that your more recent attempts are to balance those two things, because maybe in your old life it wasn't worth throwing everything away. It was more about you realizing that there's aspects of yourself that love modesty, and there's aspects of yourself that love liberation and freedom that comes from being in your body and expressing the way that you need to express. Anything else, Spirit? Yeah. For a long time, I think for some of you, your old life was a burden to you. It felt like it really restricted you. it felt as if you weren't going to be able to discover new things about yourself because it felt like you were really restricted. Yeah, almost as if your old life even kept you a little more stagnant. Like you weren't able to travel, you weren't able to do things. But maybe for some of you, people are realizing that you are, because the Empress is also very abundant. So maybe for some of you, group number 2, your life even changed financially. You started to make money, you started to build your life. For some of you, you may have even had children or you're pregnant with a child. You're moving your life forward. And maybe for some people around you, they're realizing, I'm realizing this too. For some of you, maybe you're having a baby and you're deciding not to get married. Maybe you're having a baby and you're deciding not to even stay partnered. There's something about you making your own moves in life, group number 2. And I think people are realizing you've got the guts to do it. You've got the know-how even to do it. Some people I'm hearing are really proud of you, group number 2. Yeah, for some of you, you decided to even leave the relationship you're in, but you're keeping your baby. So, take it wherever it resonates. But what Spirit is showing me is that you are for sure in this King of Wands energy. You're owning your sensuality. You're owning your independence. You're owning all the actions, the business, the prosperity. It's really all wrapped up in this Empress. So I think you are experiencing people being proud in one end, people being fearful because of their own fears, and then just yourself. I really get that people are understanding you don't need outside validation for the things that you're doing. And while you would love people's support and you would love for them to uplift you, you can also do that yourself. So this is a short reading, but group number 2, I think you are bold and you're taking life as you need to take it into your own hands. So group number 2, if you resonated with any part of this reading, would you mind giving me a thumbs up? And if you like the way that I read, please consider subscribing by clicking that button, subscribe, and then there's a bell. If you click that bell, you get notified when I upload new readings. Thank you so much for your support. And if this is where we part, thank you for taking a listen. I feel honored for reading for you. Group number 2. Thank you. Hello, group number 3. How are you? This is Kamara with the Black Dove Oracle. And this is your reading on what are people realizing about you right now. I had to film your group a little bit later, and I realized that I gifted one of the decks that I was using in groups 1 and 2. So group number 3, you're a special group for whatever reason. We're all special, but you have something special in your message that's coming up. So let's hop right into it. You chose the Hermit card. A very lovely hermit here. More mature in the feminine form. I think group number 3, what people are realizing about you is that you are on some kind of self-healing journey. And I say that because this hermit is holding a cane that actually is a snake. I don't know if you can see that. But the snake has a lot of transformative qualities. It's a symbolism of transition. And with that hermit going into the dark and illuminating things, I think for many of you in this group number 3, people are realizing that you don't mind taking the deep dives. You don't mind doing the shadow work. In fact, you don't mind going into the darkness because you will utilize the light. You will utilize the light to see into the darkness. You will bring your resources with you and utilize them so that you don't get lost. The hermit's job is so important here, right? The hermit being the number 9 energy. 9 is a beautiful energy because it's almost as if we're not completing the cycle yet, but dang, we're close. We're so close. And there's something about that 9 being a fulfillment, whether it's wish fulfillment or just the fulfillment of a goal, of an intention. People regard you as quite intentional, group number 3. And they're realizing that there's not many things you do just on a whim. Even if you don't share it with them, group number 3, people are realizing that you plan all of your moves. And most of those moves are planned in silence. Let's see. I chose these cards without looking at them, the rest of your oracle cards. And let's see what comes up. What else are people realizing about you? Gratitude. Revision. Fire and rain. The mist. It says, trust your inner compass. Be led from within. And then finally, protection guardian, drop your shills. It's very interesting, group number 3, because what people are realizing about you is that you have a very deep, respectful, honoring relationship with your guides, with your ancestors, with spirit even. You constantly show gratitude for them guiding your way, for them being the light in your lantern. So, group number 3, your long-standing relationship with spirit is becoming apparent to other people. They're starting to say and see, oh, this person has been working on the spiritual level for quite some time. They see the ease and the comfort that you have with the spirit realm and how you trust your intuition, but you also trust the guidance from spirit. And there's something here about you not being afraid to course correct. For many of you, trusting your intuition, trusting spirit is an organic process, and you've learned that over the years. And as you learn more from your guides, more from your ancestors, I think people are noticing that you're not afraid to course correct. If something that your past human self was like believing, as you get the healing, you make the moves that feel more in alignment for you. Many of you may even have strong water and fire placements in your chart, which makes you a bit of a firecracker, a little bit of an emotional expression. It's very passionate. And, I think when people encounter you, they don't expect that you are going to spark something inside of them. New thought, new feelings. But this fire and rain, it speaks to someone who's got the power of a volcano, maybe even Pele energy. For some of you, you might identify with the goddess Pele from Hawaii. But, fire and rain, Water and fire creates new lands that turn into islands. And I think some people feel as they're realizing that you come with a lot of innovation, like new thought, new innovation, and you're passionate about your ideas. So when you're sharing them, it feels like people feel like a volcano is exploding, that the tower is falling, because you come with such new and different thoughts that they don't know what to do with their old thoughts. Yeah, people, what they realize about you too is that you trust your inner compass. You trust how you see in the dark. You trust how you see through the mist. You are led from within. It's interesting because people are starting to realize that the human realm has very little power over you. That you are working with, collaborating with the spirit realm. And that your guidance, the leadership that you pay attention to, is not of an earthly leadership. People are also realizing about you is that you don't have to defend your beliefs. You don't have to give them a whole dossier on intuition and why it's important. You just utilize your skills. You just formulate and create spaces of liberation and freedom for yourself based on how you relate to your guides and your ancestors. It's real interesting because I think they want to do the same. I'm kind of hearing this from spirit, that you have people around you who want to do the same, but there's a way in which they never can drop their shills. They can never be authentic enough to really drop into the places where you go. Group number 3. Because you're able to be vulnerable with people. You're able to hold a boundary. There's this delightful harmony between your emotional states. And it keeps you safe when you do this. You feel safe in your environments. So ultimately, people see you as this hermit. Not necessarily isolated, but someone who's very introspective, someone who doesn't mind being alone, especially when it comes to their own journey and healing and learning more about themselves. But let's see, what else do people notice about you? Oh, yeah. Queen of Cups, of course. The Emperor. It did come in reverse. Let me ask Spirit to check in with Spirit. Is this reverse? Spirit is saying it's both, but let's keep it reverse for now. Yeah, and the Tower. Spirit said that's upright. Because I just mentioned the Tower before. And yeah, at the bottom, the Sun is in reverse. I think, again, people see you as someone who doesn't share everything. You don't put your whole life out there on social media. You don't announce all the things that you're going to be doing, group number 3. But it's funny because when you come into their life, it's interesting. People realize that you are so emotionally intelligent, that you have a range of emotions that you can express and never remove yourself from the center of your being. And even though I think in the past people would have said, you know, this person has the potential to be a great leader, but sometimes I'm not sure about the kinds of decisions they make. That's that upside down Emperor. But Spirit has said you've grown so much on this journey with the Hermit. You continue to grow. And it's turned your Emperor right side up. Meaning, if you look at this particular Emperor, they're holding an orb in their hand and they're looking out into the future. And there is something about you that's more future oriented, maybe more mature. This emperor has gray hair. There's a sense of like, I have all that I need around me. And the emperor is looking at, how can I influence the future? How can I shine a light on the knowledge and the wisdom I have so that others can use it in my multitude of kingdoms, domes. And when you focus that way, it really ignites people's thoughts. They're so inspired by you, group number 3. And they realize that you're a wealth of information that's so untapped. They can sit at your feet, and this is symbolic. They could sit at your feet all day and learn from you. They can just listen to the stories. They can take in your wisdom. And in you, they're realizing the sage. You are not coming into different rooms or communities and announcing who you are, group number 3. Your whole essence, your whole energy is that of a great teacher, a great philosopher, someone who's done their dues and made it to the rank of emperor. And now you're just ready to pass the baton. And for many people, that means, I said pass the baton and we got the Ace of Wands. It's like, yeah, you're ready to pass along your passion. You're ready to pass that fire along to maybe for some of you, the younger generation. For some of you, people who just have access to you are starting to get more access to your wisdom. You're not holding back anymore. But there's still ways in which you continue to learn yourself. A lot of major arcana here. I think what Spirit is saying when this came out in reverse was that maybe in previous years, previous leadership styles, you used to be like, here, I'm going to open your mouth. I'm going to feed you this information and you're going to digest it. Whereas now you allow people to just simply pick the buds of your tree. You allow them to sit at the trunk and just take in what it is that interests them. And you know that your knowledge and your wisdom will fall on the right ears. And if somebody is not mature enough or not ready for what you have to offer, you don't worry about it. You actually just continue to exist. You don't put any responsibility on yourself or others to resonate with what you're offering. You know that the right people, I used to love this conference style. They called it, what did they call it? Oh dang, the name just flew out of my head. There used to be this style of conference where it wasn't planned until all the attendees got there. And when the attendees got there, the agenda would happen, the introductions would happen, and throughout the conference, the breakouts would just continuously be organic. As people had thoughts that came up and they wanted to talk to other people, they would form a group and people would either come. But the main rule, it's called open space technology. If you've ever heard of it, put it in the comments. But open space technology had 3 rules. Whoever showed up was the right people to show up, that people can leave anytime they need to or want to, and that it will end when it needs to end. And so with these like very loose boundaries, you found hundreds of people gathering, sharing knowledge and wisdom without the overhang of controlling. You have to stay in your seat. You have to, why isn't this person here? There's nothing like that. It's completely organic. So I guess I mentioned that because there's something about your energy lately that's like that. You're allowing for the organic community to form around you and you around it. Very powerful. Anything else that people are noticing about group number 3? Yeah, that you've learned a lot from your traumas. For some of you, maybe you've really done a lot of work on getting out of depression. Maybe you experienced some major disappointments in your life, and people have seen you grow and emerge from that, and they realize just how strong you are, how optimistic you are, how you never... Alice Walker has a book titled You Can't Keep a Good Woman Down. And I always thought, that's a brilliant title. There's something like that. I mean, regardless of your gender, people are realizing you can't hold this person down. They'll get up and try again. And for that, people love you. People want to always offer you a cup, because that 2 of Cups is saying you have a lot of people out there who low-key, I'm hearing low-key from Spirit, really admire you, really take the time to listen to you and learn from you. So group number 3, if you resonated with any or parts of this particular reading, would you mind giving me a thumbs up? It's just a simple, free way to help me grow this channel. And if you like the way that I read and want to stay connected, please consider subscribing to this brand new channel. I had to take a small break, but I'm back and creating more content and would love your support. And if you click that bell, you'll get notified when I upload new readings. If this is where we part, I've been so honored to read for you, and I'm glad I even came back and was able to do this last group. So thank you so much, and I really do appreciate your comments and support. Take care, my honeys.